This pregnancy broke all the records that even doctors didn't believe. It changed the history of medicine. Not many people can say that they have changed the history of medicine, but this woman is one of the few who did. Her pregnancy broke all records, and even doctors could not believe what she did. Children are a blessing from God, but having them and raising them is something different. It's one of the most difficult tasks that exists, so most people prefer to have 1, 2, or only 3. But this woman had 44. She changed the history of medicine by having so many children. Her name is Mariam Navatansi, and she's 41 years old. Now, surely you will ask yourself, how can a person of 41 have 44 children? Is that even possible? Have all her children survived? Most Ugandan families are usually large. Women have an average of 5 or 6 children, and Mariam's family was one of them. Mariam had a tough childhood. Her mother had 6 children, and she was the last. 3 days after her birth, her mother abandoned her entire family. After a while, her father remarried, but her stepmother was similar to that of the film Cinderella. She never liked children. The stepmother poisoned Mariam's older brothers, and they all died. She survived because she was visiting a relative at the time. She was 7 years old, too young to understand what death meant. It made me feel empty and very sad. The girl grew up wanting to have 6 children and rebuild the family she had lost. Yet, she never expected to get married so soon. At the age of 12, her father forced her to marry a man 27 years older than her. They called it marriage, but for her, it was something different. All she knew is that she was now owned by this man. This teenager endured life by force and could do nothing about it. The marriage was very difficult to manage. She had no experience in managing a home, but her husband already had children from previous relationships, and now it was her turn to take care of them. She said, "My husband had many children and I had to take care of them because their mothers were not there. He was also violent and he beat me at any opportunity he had. Everything I did was not right. I had to obey his wishes. I had to learn to adapt very quickly." This was her reality, and soon after, she started having her own children. At 13, she became a mother, gave birth to twins. Her husband barely supported the family since he was not very present, but that did not prevent her from having more. The following year, she gave birth to triplets. They are 5 children. Guess what? The next time she had triplets again. African mothers are known for their ingenuity and hard work. Her husband was always away and she was worried about supporting her children, so she did what she could to put food on the table. Soon after, as you can guess, she got pregnant again. This time, she had quadruplets, so in total, she had 12 children. Then she had 2 other pairs of twins, triplets, and quadruplets again. I'll make it easy for you. She had 23 children by now. But why did she always give children to more than one child? She decided she was fed up and talked to her doctor. After several tests, the doctor told her she had a rare genetic condition. Mariam had large ovaries and was therefore very fertile. The girl begged the doctors to do everything they could to help her stop having children, but they told her that if she used a birth control pill or underwent any treatment, it could cause serious problems. The doctors could not believe what her body was capable of. They were surprised. The East African woman had 3 more twins, triplets, quadruplets, and 2 other children. She now had 38 children. However, she also lost 6, with which she would have had 44. The fertile woman said she has no regrets. "The only thing I regret is that I have to raise them alone. Their father is never present. He does not play his role. All he does is give them names on the phone. Sometimes he's gone for many months, and after a while, he disappears." Taking care of the children alone is not easy. This makes Mariam work much harder. She learned other skills and works as a hairdresser, event decorator, and collects and sells scrap metal. She also makes her local gin to sell. How impressive is that? I know I have no one to help me, but I don't want my children to suffer. It's my responsibility to support them. I have to work hard, but I know God will reward me. My children should have all the opportunities I never had. They have big dreams of becoming lawyers, teachers, or doctors, and I want them to achieve their goals. I grew up in tears. My husband was never by my side and made me suffer a lot. I spent all my time caring for my children and working to make some money, Mariam said. Her son, Ivan Kibuka, now 23 years old, says he has never seen his father since he was 13. Despite her mother's incredible efforts, he left school to help her. He says, "Mom is overwhelmed. The work is too much for her. We help in what we can, like in the kitchen or washing. I'm sorry for her. That's why I left school, to help her as much as possible. I don't want to see her suffer. This 38-year-old mother lives in 4 tiny houses with her children. They are made of cement brick and a corrugate iron roof. Some are surrounded by coffee fields. 12 children sleep in metal bunk beds with fine mattresses. In the other rooms, the children are crammed into shared mattresses while the others sleep on the floor. On the walls of her house, she proudly hangs the photos of her older children graduating from school, one of them becoming a nurse and the other a qualified builder. The Ugandan woman stated that she faced the same decision taken by her parents when she was 12 and was approached by a merchant from her village who wanted to marry her 15-year-old daughter. She revealed that the man offered her a considerable amount of money, but she did not want to put her daughter through the same ordeal she lived. He was willing to pay a good deal of money because he believed she would accept. That money would have helped us, but I can't let my daughter suffer like me. The man was 29 years older than her. Mariam said that although they are poor and she struggles to feed her children, nothing makes her happier than having them around. I would never marry my daughters to an older man. Girls are as important as boys, and I hope everyone realizes that. So stop selling your daughters. They won't treat your daughters well or care for them. They suffer too much. I will continue to fight so that my children will always have food. I will never abandon them, even if we suffer to live daily. Don't forget your responsibility, because marriage is a joint responsibility. Mariam holds the world record for the most fertile woman. Her pregnancy went down in history of medicine, and she is also known as Mama Uganda. What do you think of Mariam's story? Tell me in the comments below. See you next time.